today's video, I'm going to be talking about going no contact, the no contact phase when you begin your healing journey after narcissistic abuse. I went no contact by moving continents and by cutting off all or any communication whatsoever with my narcissistic mother. And since then, for the past 5 years, there has been no communication at all. At the time when I went no contact, I had already lost my friends, I got divorced, and I so happened to move to another country just so that I could get some time for myself, isolate myself so that I could start healing. When all the people in my life at the time told me, especially my therapist, told me that I will be building a life of my own and that the narcissist, my mother, cannot affect me anymore, it did not make any sense. I could not understand from where I was going to muster the faith and courage to start from scratch. And I could not wrap my head around the fact that my life had truly fallen apart. I could not accept anything for months on end. I was hurt, and the feeling of having been deceived by my own mother was heartbreaking. Then I did not even know that I had lost touch with myself, and I did not even know how to have a healthy relationship with myself at this point. Because the whole time, till I was 30 years old, I was busy chasing goals my mother thought were important. My whole life was about becoming good enough for my mother. I had completely lost myself in the process. I got a law degree, I got married, but none of this made me a good enough daughter for her. But today I have realized that helping others, nurturing others, being in community services is my passion and my life purpose. It was through my healing journey that I discovered my life purpose. I started keeping daily promises to myself, where I speak to myself with love and respect. I have truly come to understand who I am and what my heart truly wants. I may not have all the things I aimed for in life, but I'm fulfilled and I have a sense of well-being, which I have never experienced before. Well-being and feeling fulfilled does not come from living a life the narcissist or anyone else makes you believe you need to be living. It comes from following your heart. Following your heart is not something you can do if you have not gone no contact, if you have not lost all the contact or communication with the narcissist. It comes from following your heart, comes from following routines every day that tends to your broken heart. Healing comes from recognizing what is meant for you and what is not. What you need is not what others need. What path you need to take is unique and individual to you. The old me would have never believed that a day will come in her life when she will be able to accept all that has happened to her and trust in what is to come. It was so hard for me to trust and believe in myself and in a perfectly okay future. The old me had a tough time accepting that healing from this was possible and that forgiving the deception was possible. I had a tough time accepting this. Today I'm healing. I'm walking the path that is meant for me. I'm living a meaningful life. I have a good relationship with myself. I have healthy boundaries with others, including myself. And I love my life, even though it has its challenges. When something goes wrong, we often wonder, how long will it take for us to heal from this? This was me. I wanted a timeline for my healing, to know when it is that I will move on to living a better life. Today, I do not believe in timelines for anything. I think we can meet the right person when we are 60 years old. we can feel our absolute best at any age, that you do not go on an adventure, rather, adventures always find you. Today, I believe that the love of my life might be a friend that I might be meeting in the next couple of years, or that it might be just myself. I have stopped wanting to know the future because I simply trust, and I have stopped trying to understand the plot because the plot has already unfolded. It has shown me what I need to heal and where I need to be headed. Now, I just enjoy the journey for what it is. Healing is a journey which you might never get off. You might never get off the path of healing, especially after narcissistic abuse. I'm not saying that it is a long drawn, horrible path where you will be constantly crying and you will always find something to heal. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you will start to enjoy this discovery process, so much so that you may not want to get off this path of healing yourself. I'm only talking about healing from things that happened in my life. I've met people who are working on things from past lifetimes. When something happens, it is a revelation of our character and how we view life. It is how you carry this pain, this scar, this trauma. Are you graceful? Or are you being a pain to everyone around you? Don't believe anyone who gives you a timeline, not just for healing, but for anything in life. Healing after narcissistic abuse does take a long time, but it will be a wonderful journey. And if you have reference, like a map which you have drawn from other people's journeys, it will definitely help you along your journey. Because since we are all so similar in the way we process information and emotions, I think there are certain common mistakes or common misconceptions that people hold on this journey, especially when they start healing from narcissistic abuse. Knowing about other people's journeys and the misconceptions they had, the misunderstandings they had, or that the mistakes they made will help you navigate your own journey better, will help you draw out a map which is much clearer. You may not have the same stops or the same route or the same path, but you will have some common reference points for sure, and that will definitely help you on your journey. So, getting an education, falling in love, getting married, and having kids, doing our jobs, this is what you will commonly see around you. And when you are healing from narcissistic abuse, you most probably would have changed your field of education, lost some family and friends. You may not be in a position to have children, or that you have them and that you have to raise them all by yourself. Either way, you are going to be off the beaten track. You will not be walking the path that others are normally walking. And you will just have to get used to the fact that you are walking a different path, and there is nothing wrong with it. We are all conditioned to believe that a certain set steps 1, 2, 3 is considered normal. That is just conditioning, and you have to learn to understand that social conditioning has its own positives, but it also has its own negatives. As for me, I'm okay with things not falling in that order. I'm okay with never falling in love or having kids. But these are just things that make me me. These are my priorities. I know that it's usually priorities for people to want to have a family and children. But for me, my priority is to be by myself and to discover myself, to learn who I truly am, and to live a life where I have peace of mind. And if having kids and being a part of a family somehow, revolves around my well-being, then definitely, yes, I would go for it. But I will be okay if it does not happen to me. Having norms and standards is good. But if you do not follow them, it is okay. There are other things in life that you could do, like exploring a new subject, researching, learning a new language, living in a place of foreign culture. Many, many, many things that you can do out of love for the sake of the love you have for it. Living for the love of something is also a life worth living, and it does not always have to be another person or a big ambitious dream that you need to fulfill. Okay, so let's first talk about the first mistake I made on this journey. It is not a mistake per se, but this happens to everyone. It happens to most of the people who are healing from narcissistic abuse. And we do not even realize it, to be honest. To be frank, we do not even realize it that we are doing this. So the first mistake I made on this journey was I was trying to intellectualize my abusive experience. So what does this mean, intellectualize? Well, I thought that I could solve my problems by thinking through them. So I was treating it like a mathematical equation or a math problem that I was trying to solve. I was trying to heal by trying to think through my problems. The solution does not lie, the healing does not come from you being able to understand the narcissist or what they did to you. The solution is not achieved by using your analytical, logical brain. This is not a mathematical equation or trigonometry or geometry. You cannot think through this if you want to heal. This is abuse, and what you need to do is work with your emotions and work with your body to heal from this abuse. Intellectualizing, that is reading about the narcissist and what they did to you and thinking about, okay, I have self-esteem issues or that I have boundary issues. Just thinking about it is not going to solve the problem. It's only going to keep you stuck. So intellectualizing your experience will keep you stuck. Your nervous system has already fused by now. It has lost its power by now because of the narcissist, which is why you don't feel like yourself any longer. People who have been abused often feel like they have lost themselves. This is because you have trauma stored in your body and you need to do somatic therapy, where the therapist helps you learn how to use your body and breath to resolve the trauma stored in your system. Understanding the abuse and the abuser using purely only your brain is not going to help you heal. So this is the mistake I made. I kept reading about this personality disorder and I kept thinking through all my problems. And I thought that somehow this is going to heal me. So I started to solve my problems by thinking through them. This only kept me stuck for a very long time. For almost a year and a half to 2 years, I was just trying to think. And it is quite natural to even go through this stage, to be honest, but it does not have to be as long as 2 years. Since it is such a baffling, confusing experience, the psychological abuse can be quite confusing to understand, which is why we start thinking so much. So it is quite easy to get lost in the stage of thinking and understanding. So now coming back to your healing journey, the last point I discussed is the most important point in your healing journey. So take the focus away from what or who the narcissist is and put it back on yourself. Okay? This is where you're trying to do all the work. This is where you will begin to meet yourself again. If you want to feel like yourself again, you take the focus and you put it on yourself and you use your body and your emotions to resolve your trauma. So you drop from your head into your heart. If you believe in spiritual practices and energy work and things like that, you can try some heart opening exercises. The heart chakra, working with the heart chakra. This helps in being able to paying more attention to how you feel rather than what you are thinking. Because how you're feeling will give you a roadmap as to what to do next so that you can resolve whatever wounds you have inside of you. Remember, this is a point to remember, that the first step in healing is to put the focus on you and how you can release yourself from the narcissist. The narcissist has showed you something really valuable over here. They have showed you, this is probably quite hard to listen to and difficult to accept, but people who have had a very close bonding with the narcissist, especially a loving relationship with a narcissist, they usually lack boundaries, or that they have weak self-esteem, or that their self-respect is lacking in some form. So this is what the narcissist has showed you. They have shown to you how you are willing to give so much of your power over to another person, and willing to give so much of your attention to how another person is feeling, that you override your own values, that you are able to overlook your own well-being and your own health, and compromise the quality of your life in order to take care of someone else. All of this points to your self-esteem, your self-respect, your boundaries, and how you are, the relationship that you have with yourself. So if the narcissist has abused you, and they have shown you something really valuable here, so the first thing here is you have to understand that this is not a horrible thing. This is in fact the turning point in your life. From here on, consider that you are going to live a better life from here on, because you know what the problem is, and you can start taking steps in order to change that and heal from that. The next thing is that you can try understanding what kind of a relationship you already have with yourself by looking at how you relate to other people and how other people relate to you. Are you constantly surrounded by people who only take from you and do not give you anything in return? So what does that say about the relationship you have with you? So this is the next thing you can look at. So the first thing is, remember that this is a turning point in your life, and the next thing you need to see is, you need to see if what the quality of the relationship that you have with yourself. So to accept that you have all these issues with yourself, and a relationship with yourself needs mending, is a tough experience. It is hard to digest this, and it was for me, because I always thought that I respected myself enough, but clearly I did not, because if I did, then I would have never been in an equation such as that of an empath and a narcissist. So, but there are many, many, many resources online as to how to be a powerful empath and draw clear and strong boundaries. So, it's time to do some research and start looking up all those resources, so that you can start healing. The narcissist has opened a can of worms. They have showed you your trigger points, what you need to heal: low self-esteem, being disempowered, not believing in yourself, having weak boundaries, constantly giving, and not getting anything in return, the need for constant approval from others, the codependency issues. These are all the things that the narcissist has exposed about you. So getting on the journey to heal all of the above is going to depend on you. What I did was I started analyzing all the relationships around me, even if they were, say, strangers, how they related to me, how they received me, what was their impression about me. This gave me a very good idea of what is going on inside of me, because the way people treat you and speak to you is exactly the way you are treating yourself and speaking to yourself, unless the other person is abusive. So we are not victims. We are not victims. The day we choose to not be victims, and we have this self-awareness now that because of these issues we attracted narcissists, we can choose not to be victims anymore. People who have lived with narcissists and have had a close relationship with them, they are deeply affectionate human beings who are emotion powerhouses. We know how to take huge amounts of emotional pain and turn it into love for someone else. That alchemy of the emotion of pain, turning pain into love for someone else, is an enormous, powerful aspect of your personality. Okay, we know how to care for others and have a conscience, which creates a safe world for those around us. We know how to keep everyone around us happy and safe. We are willing to make those sacrifices to give those to around, give to those around us. So, a heart and a soul which carries so much empathy and love, according to me, is resilient and powerful, which is why I say that we are not victims and that we can heal from this. So you can heal from this abuse. Just this time, you're going to have to give all of yourself all of this love, affection, and empathy. You're going to have to offer to yourself what you have been offering to the world and the narcissist all along. So just taking all that and turning it inwards instead of giving it away. That is going to be the lesson. Taking time to understand yourself, give time to know how you feel, use your sensitivity to understand what healing path will best suit you. These are all the things you could do. So be there for yourself, be dependable, you know. Love yourself. There are ways to do this. This is not just, doing yoga and eating fruits and salads. Yes, that is one aspect of loving yourself, but also learning about how to maintain a strong frame when you go out, maintaining strong boundaries with people, knowing, drawing strict boundaries not only with the people around you, but also with your inner critic. You need to have healthy boundaries with your inner critic so that your inner critic does not bully you. So if you had a narcissistic mother like myself, you probably have internalized the voice of the narcissistic mother, and that has become your inner critic. And you're probably getting bullied by that inner critic on an everyday basis. To establish the boundaries and to have a good relationship with your inner critic, a healthy relationship with your inner critic, is a skill that you could learn by going to a therapist and asking them, so how do I draw this line? So sacrificing your morning sleep and taking time to take care of yourself before you start your day, that is also another form of self-love. Exercising every day, self-love. So remember that if you went all those lengths for the narcissist and you set yourself on fire to keep the narcissist warm, you probably only have to walk half the distance for yourself, and you'll meet yourself and your expectations. Just take time, take heart, and this journey of healing is your gift. It is your opportunity to get it right with yourself and to establish a relationship with God. If you believe in God, that's great. God is with you, and you'll never walk alone, even though you might feel isolated. Trust me, you are not alone. You'll always find the right resources, and the right people, the right souls will walk into your life, and they will offer you exactly what you need at that moment, and they will walk out. So honor that, take the lessons, and learn from it. This is how I have been dealing with my healing journey after going no contact. I hope this video has given you some insight into, what is important, what is it that a normal person normally does, in the initial parts of the journey, but how to change course, steer direction, and steer away to the right direction so that you're walking on this path which is helping you heal and not taking you away from the healing path. So I hope I have been able to help you in some form or fashion, and it has made at least a little bit of a difference. Let me know in the comments below how it has helped you, or what it is that you would like to share about your no contact phase, and what is the first thing that you did on your healing journey. Thank you so much for listening to me.